Well, that's interesting. It says I've been live for 12 minutes. Hi, everybody. Nicole Sauce here, and I didn't get my Garden30 in this weekend. And I just thought I would start something here. So I'm in my kitchen right now, and my phone's ringing. And I'm gonna do a Garden30, but it's not really Garden30. It's a cooking 30. So getting things ready, I guess I need to aim up. This is what my kitchen looks like after a long, hard day. It's, there's some dishes over there on the counter. There's not much in the sink. Where's the sink? Bloop, 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 bloop. There's the sink. So just making some ribs. This is typical like evening cooking for me. So I think, I can actually have it more down, which is good. Because by the time I'm far away, I'm back in here. So tonight we're having ribs, and I just had to decide something for dinner by going to the freezer. And if you do put your comments in all caps, I might actually see them. I see that 30-day reviews is here. Typical, somebody left a cabinet open. The cheese is out because I had to do dog training. So I cannot wait to have this place like camered up, so it's not like there's this narrow window of what you will see. So I decided to do pork ribs today, and got them out of the dishwasher and all that jazz. And this is my refill thing. And I'm just gonna do a dry rub on them and get them going. I'm putting them in the pressure cooker because I didn't start cooking them hours ago. By the way, I agree with the guys about the red and stainless, but I think we may just prefer muted colors. Yeah, I like gray and red together, and to me that's gray and red. So as long as I like it, that's the only thing that really matters in my kitchen. So apparently we need to permanently go that way. So I'm going to start at the sink by washing my hands. And then, as usual, like my typical time for first thing I usually do when I cook is there's usually 3 to 5 dishes here, and sometimes there's more, and I just wash them real quick so that we can start clean. But something that I think it becomes really easy to just go get takeout when you haven't planned your meal. And, if you have all the ingredients in the world to choose from, that can be too much to choose from, actually. But some, okay, sure, you can cook anything anyway. But I find that if I have thought earlier in the day what I want to do for dinner, which I did do today, I just knew I was going to Instapot it. I have a much better success rate of not trying to do takeout. And by the time I drive 25 minutes, sit down and wait for a meal, and drive 25 minutes home, it often takes more time to do that than to just cook the stupid meal. So this is my water bottle waiting to be filled. I think I'm going to toss that one because it's got like permastain on it. These are the ribs from our pigs that I got to find. So I may walk off camera. So if you have questions or want to see something, just tell me. This is an apron that I went to my mom's house. I'm like, ooh, that's pretty. And she's like, do you want it? I was like, yeah. So I came home with it after my trip to California. And the funny part about that is that she was like, it really bothers me that I can't find this one apron I made for myself that I like. And I was like, is it this one? She was like, that's where it went. I forgot I gave it to you. So we were kind of cracking up about that. How's the sound, by the way? I'm coming over the computer speaker mic thing. Kind of one of those, don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. 30-day reviews is asking me, what cameras am I getting? And the answer is, I don't know. A friend of mine's coming here, and we're going to assess built-in cameras. And obviously, like the fluorescent light from the top is not awesome. But it's what I have today. So is the Carry pressure canner. And I'm going to cook in it because it's also a pressure cooker. And it's got dust on the top of it because we did construction and it got dusty. We'll see how bad it is inside. I mean, I just recently used this, but cool. I always store my plug-in inside the thing because there is nothing worse than getting an appliance out and then you can't find the stupid plug-in part. So plug that puppy in. In an amazing flaw of judgment, I put a cutting board in front of the plug. And I think the rub I will use, so I got this really cool pull-out cart for my spices that goes by the stove. And what do we got here? I've got Dark Horse rub from Honeybee's Kitchen, really delicious. And then I need some salt. Oh, Tactical, what's up? You want to say hi to people?
Hi.
Hi. Can you hear him? So today was a really weird day. Oh,
Hi.
That's a close-up of beard. He just got this bag of watercress from the watercress patch because I was like, I can't do this live stream and walk to the watercress patch. So one of these times we'll make a video about this. This is what I sous vide in. I'm gonna put it away. Oh wait, it goes over there. I'm still learning where things go in my kitchen. Excuse me, sir. Okay, sous vide things away. Okay. So the thing will take the longest today. I'm making ribs. I'm doing a watercress salad with a homemade dressing. I think I have enough left over. And then I'm going to look at the leftovers in the fridge for any other side dishes. And, you know, around here, we're just happy with meat. We have nothing growing, but hopefully soon. Yep, hopefully soon. Our spice cabinet is the bane of my existence. I actually like this thing. It's, I don't know if I'll use it forever, but I'll show it to you. It's just a cart. The thing is, I have more spices than that ultimately, but most of my spices, most of the time, store in jars, in mason jars. And a lot of those spices, I don't know where they are. So, yeah. Yeah, Redfire Media, I'm going to be asking you about how to make this into a studio kitchen. You're my like plan to ask that question. So I like to just get this started. And I love these kitchen shears. They're Fiskars, and they come apart so you can actually clean them. And like part of the fun of using them is the puzzle of how to put them together right, which I totally just did wrong. There we go. Cut up in the. So these were frozen this morning, and I defrosted them by rotating water out for them. And see, lovely, 2 ribs. Now I've touched it with my hands. So I will wash my hands for the first of 40 million times tonight because I need to touch the spices and I don't want to get raw pig meat on the spices. So anyway. Okay. And then I'm going to inspect how clean this thing is. Okay, the dust did not get in there. So this rack is what keeps the canning jars off. If you turn it upside down, it helps. It can hold the ribs towards the outside of the Instant Pot. So that's one trick. The recipe I'm going to use does call for liquid smoke, but you don't have to do it. But I think I have some. And the way it was collected was my friend who has a cold smoker. He made it so the condensation from the smoke collects on the metal inside his cold smoker and runs down a thing, and then he collects that, and it's like liquid smoke, only it's like it's literally like smoke particles in liquid. So really good in cocktails. So if I can find that, I think we will use some liquid smoke on this. And then it's hickory, so he puts it in these little bottles. So now we're going to get the salt. And I'll just You're like, why isn't she rubbing that? As you can see, I carefully measure everything. And then we put the dark horse rub on. And no, I don't do anything other than that. Flip them over. I actually now wash my hands again. The other way I do this is I get a second person to help me and they sprinkle the stuff on the meat while I rub it. But I don't have a second person today. And I like to get the rub on both sides. So I guess I just wash my hands a lot today. Have to be real careful with usage of liquid smoke. I found you can overdo it. Yep. Salt, 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 salt. I just kind of sprinkle it on. It's more than some people will be comfortable sprinkling on if you're traditional, like post 1980 cook following low fatty recipes and those sorts of things. But I find that you can oversalt it, but if I just sprinkle it, and this meat is it's not brined or anything, so there's not already salt in there. If you're getting meat from the store, there might already be a salt brine. You want to know that before you actually salt it. So now, get these nice and see how I'm coating the spices around everything. Ooh, there's a hair. Don't come to my house. A hair touched that. I even have my hair up, so it won't do that. I'm bad and surprised I don't get sick more. Oh, well, to some extent, I'm not super. So now I'm putting this fat side towards the outer wall in there, and the rack is holding them up. And then there's some extra spicy stuff, so I'll just Now I'm going to wash my hands again. By the way, all of this is taken. It says we've been live for 24 minutes. Most of it was just talking, and we've only really been live for... It started at 12 minutes. I don't know why. So that's done. And then I'm just going to put a little bit of drizzle, 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 drizzle. And then for the Instant Pot, you're going to add water, right? So put my little spice card away. Putting my spice away. Now I'm going to, measure carefully as I am used to. I'll put, this is just... I was without this for a long time, could not find where it was. So let's put a few cups of cold water in. In this case, I'm going to do 2 cups. If you wanted to, you could cut up onions and whatnot to put in there to add a little bit more. You just want to put enough water that the rack is, you don't want the meat in the water because then that makes the rub come off. So for these, I'm doing 35 minutes. Who am I kidding? I'm doing 45. And then I just turn that puppy around and hit pressure cook, 45. Start. Now I can clean up this gook and then I'll get on to preparing the other sides and salads and I'll be done preparing dinner. The key to success here is starting early enough that you're not doing this at 10 o'clock at night and you don't eat till midnight, because that's going to take probably 10, 15 minutes to get heated up. Then it's going to pressure cook and then let it cool down. So we'll probably, I think because I started a little late, we had a dog incident today that made me want to train dogs instead of cook dinner for an hour. So we're an hour late on dinner because of that. I like to start cooking at 5, guys, as a general rule. So I'll usually work till 5, and then I start cooking at 5, unless it's a crock pot meal, in which case it's already cooking itself. And that just means that everything shifted an hour. Loving this new giant sink. These are great because they come apart. You can clean all of it. All of it. Hi, Letty. Hope you're doing well. And then I am a person who soaps up her cutting board. So I'm sure somebody's going to tell me I'm doing it wrong. Whatever. what I do. When I get the homegrown cooking tube going, which we're not live on that right now because I still don't qualify for live streaming over there. And I've posted, like no videos yet. I was like, oh, I could do this video just for fun. Nope. Then I just take my beautifully hand crocheted washcloth. Eric Myers' mom, if anybody knows who he is, he's in our network. I think she made this one. And I think my mom bought it at Self-Reliance Festival October because a bunch of her handmade stuff was there. So it's all cleaned off. Cutting board's ready to go some more. I'm going to dry it with this paper towel a little bit. We're back in business. So now it's salad time. I have a cabbage. Now, I know some of you are going to say you have half a cabbage, and you are not wrong. My Roman knife is missing, so I usually take the outer leaf off. Put my salad bowl down. Oh, it is down. I took that down to show tactical how much watercress I wanted. It's like enough to fit in there. So when you are cooking from a harvest, I think the thing that does take a little extra time is, like, this cabbage was already rinsed and ready to go. I threw off the outer leaf and we're done, right? For the watercress, I need to watch for bugs more because it hasn't been cleaned and transported and all those things. And so this is the watercress. And what happens to watercress is, let's see if I can find one. There's no bug on that one. I just look for bugs. If you want to process a lot of it, what you do is you float it in water and the bugs come off, but then you have to really rinse really well, or else the bugs are really there. We had a watercress salad last night. It was delicious. So that's about enough for tonight's salad. And I saved this for tomorrow. I tricked Tactical into getting the lettuce for tomorrow too. I need to make more of those washcloths. I have plenty of cotton yarn. Love the apron. Mama Sauce made it. I finally learned that value. Hello, Faith. Putting this away. This is my upside down jar of leftover dressing from yesterday that may or may not be enough. So I may make another jar. So this I'll just rinse because there are no bugs on it. If I had seen any crawlies on it, I would have soaked it in water. I'll have to this time. So I'll just, my nozzle has a spray. I can't show you because it's over there. Anyway, it has a spray thing. And shake it. I do not currently have a salad spinner, so usually I'd put it through a salad spinner. Instead, what I've been doing, I'm going to go get one. I decided that I've had the same salad spinner for 15 years and I don't like it. I haven't liked it for 15 years. And I was like, Self, you have frequent flyer miles. You could get a Home Goods gift certificate with. And just go spend, 10 or 20 bucks on a salad spinner you actually like. So I'm just patting with a paper towel. I wouldn't usually do this, but usually I would spin it and we wouldn't have, I want it to be nice and dry. So the trick with the kitchen studio, as Red Flyer Media can now see, is I walk all over the place the whole time. So I'm going to need to figure out if the sound stuff I have will work, because I have some lavalier mics and things. And then these sticky bits, you can eat these, but put them in compost. So then watercress, cabbage, pickled things are next. I like the stainless and the red. Ha! See 30-day reviews? Girls like the stainless and the red. So I think I've got, when I was in Maine, I bought this jar of pickled fiddleheads, which is like very baby little ferns, and a specific variety, which I don't know. I've never identified it here. I think they do grow here. That they're not prickly, because the ones, I mean, if they're prickly, it's a bad mouthful. So I just dice that up, and it adds a little fun flavor to the salad. And pickled beets. These are not Aunt Helen's recipe. This is a jar of straight up dill pickle beets. The way I make them is I make the brine, not dicing these, I'm just hunking them. Hunking them is the official term. I use the same brine I use for dill pickles, which is basically vinegar and salt and water at a specific ratio that you can find in the Encyclopedia of Country Living for dill pickles. And then I add things to the jar. So I add actual dill and garlic and peppercorns into the jar. Sometimes I'll put, for beets, I'll add allspice sometimes, or cloves, or something fun like that. Hot pepper, like a jalapeno pepper. I keep dried ones on hand so that the overlap works. One overhead cam, a smart cam that will track you, would work great. Cool. My phone actually has, I have a thing that's supposed to make it follow me, and I haven't gotten that to work yet. It's a Gambrel. See, I left my sous vide out from yesterday. It was drying on the counter. I store the sous vide in the thing that I put the water in for the sous vide, and then I can always find it. You were in a bag. Where is the bag that you were in? Oh, still in the fridge. So the spoiler alert is there's a second head of cabbage in the fridge. So salad's basically done. I don't think I need to cut anything else today. Get that cleaned up. The company that I got this end cut beautiful butcher block from is, I think they're called Tennessee Butcher Blocks. It's probably TennesseeButcherBlocks.com. They had another name when I bought this, but they changed their name, and they're a really cool couple out of Knoxville. And so I have a couple of their cutting boards. I'm going to let this dry back over here, leaning up against the wall. And then, because my countertop is sealed wood, so it's been stained and it's sealed, it does not like, I don't want it to stay wet. So I dry this counter a lot. There's some little bits of food there. Ooh, the knife didn't get clean. Red and stainless looks good. See, there's a dude who likes it. 30-day reviews. Jeff, there's an argument in the holler about if the stainless steel looks good with the red, and my next door redneck neighbor does not approve. Not tactical, but Nighthawk. He was like, I think you need a different cabinet color. And then he wanted me to paint them darker red, and I'm like, I actually really like my fire engine red cabinets. They make me happy every day. If I sell this house, I probably will, in fact, paint them. Because other people won't. Yeah, everybody's now making jokes at 30-day reviews. So I'm not going to address this salad. I'm just sort of judging about how much is in here. It looks like enough for the salad. I let this get to room temperature, and I'll just let it sit by the salad bowl until dinner time so that it gets up to room temperature, and then it's much easier to pour. Did you add electric for under the cabinet lighting? Yes. I'm going to move the cabinets down 4 inches because I cannot reach up and in all the way. I want to be able to reach all the way back to the second shelf. And we ended up hanging them a little high, but that's okay because we haven't run the under cabinet lighting. The switch for the under cabinet lighting is going to be, that's what this is sticking out. That's not being put in before the spring workshop. We've got too much to do before the spring workshop for that. So the lighting for that switch is both under cabinet and above. It'll be on a dimmer switch so that if I want a more gentle light in this room, I can have that. I also realized that the fixture I got from Jenny, that she was getting rid of it and she just gave it to me. We put it in the outdoor kitchen. It might not make a bad light for over this bar if I decide to put one over this bar for, whatever. But what kind of backsplash? I'm going to do tile eventually. So, and in fact, I was going to tile this countertop, but now I'm going to price out quartz. A 4x8 sheet of quartz. What's that going to cost me? We'll see. Then they have to cut the hole for the sink, which is hugely nerve-wracking. Although they might not be willing to. Some of the ones I see want you to get specific kinds of sinks. But, yeah. I mean, I look at my job here on cutting this hole. It's not that bad. So from here, what I'm looking for is what leftovers do we have in the fridge? Because we want to use our leftovers. So I've got a little bit of mashed potato left from yesterday. I know I'm a low carb eater, but we're going to eat this up, and I don't have pigs. Next time I do a kitchen, I want a sheet of stainless steel behind the stove. I have stainless steel for behind the stove. I'll probably do a big stainless thing over there where the stove is when that's done. I actually have a little bit of leftover salad from yesterday that I'll plop in there and just mix it all. If you listen to my podcast today, you'll know that I cooked a pile of meat. So I have one piece of lamb left from last night. And this is venison steak. So those will be available to eat cold, or we can heat them up if somebody wants them heated up. I think only Tactical's coming to dinner tonight, unless Nighthawk pops in. This venison I aged for 7 days, and I've never aged my venison like that before. So much better. It was good before, but this is like so much better. And the way I aged it is it was quartered, and we put it in the fridge outside, so it stayed at the right temperature in quarters. And I let it go for 7 days, and then I butchered it. It was great. I'm going to do that every time now. Once done, will the kitchen pass inspection for industrial use? No, I'm not building an industrial kitchen here. I would have to have my water source tested too. I think I'm not doing it. And you have to have a separate septic system for your kitchen only. It just seems like, why do that? Jeff, good to see you. Have a good one. My mom has had her stainless. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, what else do we have for leftovers? Turns out we have pre-cut cabbage. I have one bowl of soup that Tactical won't eat, that I've been trying to get him to eat all day. So we're just going to sneak that into lunch tomorrow. I have gravy. So, yeah, that looks like it. So the question is, do we want another side dish? I'm looking in here. In here are pickled okra and roasted squash already. So I'm just going to mix that all up. I'm going to actually pull the pickled things out because that might make it taste weird. And it will be a little side dish that I just heat up. And then from there, I think we have enough volume with the ribs and the pile of meat. If I was going to do another side dish tonight, I would actually... So we had roasted squash from this Tromboncino. It was super long. I would just roast some more squash tonight because I'm going to be roasting that tomorrow now. What I've also got going here, guys, are... We've got these green onions that came from the store today. I'm going to plant those in the aquaponic system. And we have a receipt. And then over in the crock pot, let's See if I can take you on like a little cruise here. We're going for a kitchen cruise. Over in the crock pot, I've got the can you, I don't know. This would be way easier if I wasn't balancing a laptop. So we've got the leg of lamb simmering. So at some point, I'm throwing an onion in there. That'll go all night. And that's just the leg of lamb that was from yesterday that I cut all the meat off that I could. And there are still little bits of meat. They will fall off. That, it makes delicious broth. But somehow I ended up away from comments. But that's everything. So dinner's basically done. What I have to do from here is I'm waiting 39 minutes for this. And then it will take about 10 minutes to cool down. So 46, 56. So at 6:30 now. So at about 7:30, it looks like dinner will be ready. I will get some barbecue sauce out in case Tactical wants barbecue sauce on his. And then we'll dress the salad. I will heat this. I'm probably actually going to use the dreaded microwave on this one. Usually I just put it on a pot on the stove, but I don't feel like doing dishes tonight. And then the pile of meat will be served cold, and I'll put it on a cutting board at that time. I'm letting it get up to room temperature on purpose. So I'm going to, like, it's not going to kill me to let it get up to room temperature. And then we'll be good to go. Those ribs come out, dinner, done. So they'll come out at 7:30, and it's time to eat. I spent more time. So I spent half an hour preparing this meal because I was talking to you the whole time. But it was 30 minutes of my time, and that was it. And Tactical spent 5 minutes gathering the watercress. Something I just hear a lot of objections about how much time it takes to prepare meals. And what I know is sometimes me talking about how long it takes is more time than it actually took me to do the thing. So it's time to take the apron off. And I'm going to go back to the computer and prepare my schedule for tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in. Let me know if you like these. Usually I would be, actually, I think I'm going to plant those onions first. I do the Garden30 thing too, but sometimes like my piece in my mind is the cooking 30. So we got a cooking 30 today, but I called it a Garden30. See you guys tomorrow.